Good morning, boys and girls. Today you are going to write your second literary essay. Before we begin, I would like to remind you, you've actually been doing literary essays for a while now, and you haven't even realized it. Most of your reading responses that you've been doing using the rubric have actually been mini literary essays. Today, I want to start you off by modeling how to plan using the graphic organizer, picking a question, and writing the introduction paragraph for your essay. Don't forget, we will write our essay for 3 days. Please do not write your entire essay in one day, as the rest of the week you will have additional videos to help guide you to write the best possible essay. The first thing you're going to have to do is get a copy of the literary essay planning page. You can see I've already started to fill mine in. In order to come up with your thesis statement or claim, you first need to pick one of the questions that are on the slides. Each question pertains to one of the 4 boxes in your claims about a text Foursquare page. I have chosen the first box, character feelings and traits, or what character trait best describes your character. So, in my literary essay thesis box, I wrote, the character trait that best describes Vashti is determined. This is my claim about Vashti that I'd like to prove in my essay. Again, this box will become my introduction paragraph. Now I need to think about some support that actually proves she was determined. These are things that are going to be highlighted in my story already, or that are already filled in on my Foursquare boxes. One piece of evidence I came up with was, she sees her dot hung on the wall and says, I can do better than that. To me, anybody who says that they can do better than that is determined to do better. The second thing that I noticed from my notes was that she makes all different kinds of dots. She makes them in different colors, she makes them in different sizes. I feel like with these 2 pieces of evidence, I'll be able to support the idea that Vashti is determined. Now, you'll notice that some of my text is done not bold, and some is done in bold. That's because not only did I want to plan my text evidence, but I also wanted to plan my own thinking. So what does her seeing her work on the wall and saying she can do better than that actually show me as the reader? Well, it shows me that she has made up her mind to do better in art today. So I know she's not going to just sit there and have a blank page that her teacher makes a joke about a polar bear in the snow. Like, what her teacher hung on the wall wasn't good enough for her. Once she sees how silly the dot was that she just carelessly put on the paper the day before, she knows she can do better, and she's determined to do better. Do you see how I have my text evidence prepared as well as my own thinking? That's going to really help me write those paragraphs later this week. She paints all different colors and sizes by painting. Well, what does that show you? To me, it shows me she's not just quick to put something on the paper like before. Now she's actually trying different things and she isn't giving up. Last but not least, I have to plan my thesis statement. I put an X in my support box 3 because the dot was kind of a short story and I didn't really think that any other evidence I had was significant enough or important enough to make a whole paragraph for it. That might happen to you, and that's okay. Those shoes is a little bit longer of a story, so you might have a third piece of evidence, and that would be great. My thesis statement just has to get repeated at the end. In the beginning, I said, the best trait to describe her is determined. So at the bottom, I rewrote, Vashti is determined. I also added, to make a better dot and becomes a better artist because of it, as she creates so many dots that she gets featured at the school art show. So I kind of just added a little bit from my supporting details, as well as just the other idea that she was in the art show at the end. Now I have my entire planning sheet ready to go. Next up, start writing. I've gotten this copy from my Google Classroom and made a copy of it. You might be writing yours on paper, and that's all right too. But if you are using my template, the first thing you need to do is add your name. Sorry, I just have to use purple, you know me. Mrs. Traversholm, what question will you be answering? This say that your teacher, me, knows what question you're doing. I'm going to highlight the question I chose. And then I'm going to start my essay. The only thing I'm going to do today is focus on my introduction paragraph. I am not going to do anything more than that because I already did a lot of work, and so did you guys, actually planning the essay. So we're just going to do one paragraph today. I need to make sure that I do the character trait that best describes Vashti is determined. That's all I need. Some of you might know how to copy and paste, and you are all the more welcome to do that. Okay, and I'm just going to add I think in the front. I think the character trait that best describes Vashti is determined. Now, that's great, except it's not a paragraph. So, let's see. I can hook my reader by asking questions. I probably want to introduce that Vashti's like the main character from the dot. So, all right. I have been reading The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. Have you ever read a story and thought to yourself, what kind of character is this? Or what kind of person? What kind of person is this character? Sometimes when I read, I think about how nice or unkind a character is. In The Dot, I think I'm going to say main character, I'm going to change it a little bit, Vashti, character Vashti, I'm just going to change this, can best be described as determined. I have been reading The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. Have you ever read a story and thought to yourself, what kind of person is this character? Sometimes when I read, I think about how nice or unkind a character is. In The Dot, I think the main character Vashti can best be described as determined. Perfect. Do you see how I introduced the book I was reading? I asked a question to the reader to try to hook their attention in the beginning of my essay, and I made sure that I answered my question. If you can do those three things, introduce the story you're reading, those shoes, hook your reader by asking them a question, and answer the question that you've chosen to answer, then your opening introduction paragraph will be spot on. Good luck!